Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Thirdcoastreptile right here on YouTube. Hey, there is another policy coming in place that could end the reptile hobby as we know it. Now, there are some things to consider. We're going to go over those, but also we want to understand what this new ban is in the reptile hobby that's making us worried and concerned. And no, it's not a species-specific reptile ban. Rather, this is something more electric than that. Oh, and don't forget we've been doing an Under the Shell segment where I answer one of your questions right here on Thirdcoastreptile. Alright guys, so this new ban, the new thing that's going on, they're actually banning a few different types of reptile light bulbs that we use here in the hobby. This is something that sucks. So the way this happened and how this occurred was we kind of dropped the ball as a reptile community, right? So what we did was they said in 2016, they started saying, hey, we need to get rid of these inefficient bulbs. And then in 2021-22, they actually started itemizing the type of bulbs that are on this list. So what it means for us is we are now kept at the same standards those bulbs are above us as they are in here. So they have to be as efficient as the ones we use in normal general use. So what does that mean? That means that your bulb has to produce 45 lums per watt. That's the bare minimum efficiency that your reptile lights have to have. Granted that most of these bulbs don't go anywhere near that. They're not efficient. They produce heat, and heat is what we need in our enclosures along with UVB. Well, I think they're going to fix this. This is what initially is going to happen. They're going to go ahead and amend the law to include these in a specialized category where they will be omitted from that 45 lume per watt category. In the meantime, what you need to do is not go to the store and buy every single type of light bulb on the shelf and then go home and hoard them. That will only prevent a neighboring reptile owner from the opportunity of getting a bulb that they may desperately need. Now, it's not all the reptile bulbs in general that are getting banned. There's only a certain list. In fact, I'll put up a picture here of the ZooMed list that they were issued to cease and desist from producing more of. So they only have a limited supply left of these bulbs. And really guys, when it comes down to it, the basking bulbs that we use are sort of on that list. That's the biggest heavy hitter that I could think of, at least in the tortoise and turtle realm, that we really have to worry about. A viable substitute for this is that mercury vapor Reptisun bulb that I use. That's a UVA, UVB, and basking bulb all in one. And that's great because it doesn't fall into that list yet, and we can still use them here. I use them on all of my reptile enclosures. They're perfect. Guys, this is really something that is coming. We needed this. This is something we needed. But what we didn't need is the way they went about this. They went ahead and cut our legs right out from underneath us and didn't really give us a viable alternative option for these bulbs that we're trying to buy. It doesn't mean that I'm against it. I'm actually for this because we need more energy efficient bulbs. We need a better solution. Now they are working on UVB, emitting LED bulbs. Now they're great, but there is a bad side effect of that, and that is UVC, which can be deadly to your reptiles. Now our technology is getting there, but it's not quite there to where they're efficient enough and they produce enough output to mimic the bulbs that we're using here, especially those long strip bulbs that are still available, by the way. The T5, T8 bulbs that are these UV strips, they're still on the shelves. You can still get those. They're not banned yet. So don't panic, don't freak out. What I want you to do is contact your local congressman and tell them in an adult manner that they need to understand that these are a specialty bulb and not a general house bulb like I use up here. So you do that, you wait patiently, use the mercury vapor bulbs in the meantime. You can still get these T5, T8 fluorescent UVB strips, And eventually, they're going to go ahead and categorize these in their own special category, and life will go on. However, I do want to see the industry improve on its, I guess, carbon footprint and make things a little bit more environmentally friendly, since we are kind of, in that category. So let's go ahead and do that Under the Shell segment where I answer one of your questions. Got questions? Get your answer right here on Under the Shell. Alright guys, for today's Under the Shell segment question, we're going to answer the question from Jonathan. Hey, my name's Jonathan. So Jonathan asked, and this is not really a reptile related question, but it is a question for the Under the Shell segment, so I'm going to answer it. And the question is, how do I become a YouTuber? Well, to become a YouTuber, it's easy. You just put a camera and hit record. Start talking about stuff. Your first video is going to be really crappy. Mine was really crappy too. But you learn from each video, and my goal is to make the next video you do better than the last video that you do. And then just keep in mind that editing is important, but content is more important. You want to make sure that you provide the best knowledge you can to your audience, depending on what you're talking about. Try to keep things light and airy to keep your audience a little bit more entertained, and do your research, learn as you go, and before you know it, you're going to be a YouTuber. Again, the beautiful thing about YouTube is that it's free, and because it's free, anybody can do it. Anybody with any experience, any background can start a YouTube topic about anything that's on their mind, something that they want to share and enjoy with the world. For myself, with reptiles, it's just something that I really wanted to share with you guys and get into the minds of educating people. You need videos like this. You need educational systems in place where you can learn from a few different people. And the beauty of YouTube, and I'm ranting here, but bear with me, the beauty of YouTube is you can have several different types of the same category, but from a different point of view. And that gives you a good rounded decision on learning about what you want to learn about when it comes to reptiles. For example, like Camp Kennan, he did great with tortoises initially. Now he's really big into monitor lizards, which is perfect. I learned about him, but he's still, he's collective about everything. It's a great channel. It kind of got me started into the idea of doing YouTube. There's other people that are really into dart frogs, which, I learned a lot about dart frogs, where I'm more about turtles and tortoises in an indoor environment. So I'm hoping to educate this kind of segment in this group where, somebody wants hey, Mom, Dad, I want to learn about owning a tortoise because I want one in my house. And they're like, well, we don't know anything about that. Well, this is a great place for that to be. And if you can answer a question like that, I think you'll have a great place for a YouTube channel. So, great question. If you guys want your question answered, you can do so in one of three ways. Number one, you can go to the comment section right here in this video and ask your question there. You can go to the Thirdcoastreptile community chat and ask your question there, or simply go to the Thirdcoastreptile Facebook page and ask your question there. Alright guys, let's get back to it. Alright guys, we're closing down the video here. There's a couple things I want to mention that I didn't really mention before, and that is that the big companies behind this that are going to be on our side are not small-time people. We're talking reptile industry moguls like ZooMed, or, my mind's drawn a blank, but US Arc's going to get on board eventually here. All the zoos that you can think of are going to be on board because they need it. Farming communities are going to need this for their livestock. I mean, this is a broad reach community here that's not our normal kind of focused niche in our reptile hobby. This is like a big group of people that are going to be wanting this law amended and amended quickly. The unfortunate side of that, though, again, like I mentioned, is the government is a slow working government. It takes a long time. So bear with them. They're going to get things fixed. On a lighter note, on a lighter topic here, we just went over 500 subscribers. I just want to say thank you guys. I couldn't be here doing this without your support. It helps me understand what videos you like, what content you want me to produce. So I really appreciate, especially all the under the shell questions you guys ask. I love them. Thank you so much for participating, asking those questions, watching my videos, and of course, liking and subscribing to Third Coast Reptile. Alright guys, until next time, bye now.